Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast coming up next. We are interviewing the top of the food chain, Blade Brown. Stay tuned.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.
Yeah, we're back. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. It's your boy, the insightful one, S. Scott Brars Wrestling Media. Dub will be in just a second. We are interviewing Blade, top of the food chain, Brown. Round of applause. Let's get it. Yeah. So, first thing I want to ask you is professional wrestling. You already are Toughman World Champion in Virginia. Why choose professional wrestling? You already done knocked out half of whoever. Why professional wrestling? Why?
I mean, why not? You know, on the real, it's something that I always wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, football, don't get me wrong. Football is my first love. Love boxing. Love to tussle. I don't care. But pro wrestling has just always been there. Something I always wanted to do. So I was like, man, why not go out there and give it a shot? And then I realized I was pretty damn good at it.
Hey, man, look, your resume speaks for itself. You were a 2022 Toughman Champion in Virginia.
West Virginia.
Okay, West VA. Also, you have some ties with AWL. So can you tell me about that?
AWL, American. Actually, I never got to go out there. So this is what happened. Dude hit me up back in February, had a match set up. Not too long before I was about to go out there, I tore my daggone pec, and I was shelved for 6 months, man. So I'm just now getting back on the road, and like that was back in February. I had my surgery in March, and I ain't come back until mid-September.
Wow. It seems like the pec injury, eludes a lot of athletes nowadays, especially in professional wrestling. So how did you manage that, going through rehab and stuff like that? What was you able to do in the meantime to keep yourself in shape?
So I'm gonna just be real with you. The first 6 weeks after surgery sucks. Like it's terrible, man. You hemmed up in a cast. In a brace. You know what I'm saying? A sling, I should say. When you take it out the sling, you can't even like relax your arm. You see how I can do that, man? Right. My arm was hemmed up like this for weeks. You know what I'm saying? Wow. It took about a month and a half for me about 2 months really to be able to put it down without it being a struggle. So the first little bit sucked, but 2 weeks after post-op, the doctor was like, you can go back to the gym, work on every other part of your body. And that's what I did. And then my whole mindset going through it was do what you can until you can do more. Because that's really all you can do in life. You know what I'm saying? So I did what I could till I could do more. And the next thing you know, I was able to do some pulls on this side of my body. You know what I'm saying? Then finally I was able to progress to pushing. And now I'm back full swing. So it's just, you just can't give up. Do what you can until you can do more. That's not just the injury. That's just life, honestly.
Wow. That is very, very, very true. Very, very true. What would you say to athletes like yourself who are just coming up right now in the business of professional wrestling, and they want to get into professional wrestling, but they don't know how? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to do your research on where to train. You know what I'm saying? Find out find out where some of the best are coming from, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, and figure out where they are. And don't be afraid to make a move. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to make a move. Don't be afraid to make a drive. You know, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. I trained at Firestar Pro Wrestling that's in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
Also, during that time of my training, I was still playing college football in West Virginia. So you know what I'm saying? This goes back to the do what you can until you can do more.
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I was gonna sit here. I told myself I was gonna sit here, wait till I graduated. You know what I'm saying? And then I was gonna go into wrestling. I went to a show at Firestar, ran into a cat named Alexander Moss.
Mm-hmm.
Those in North Carolina know who that is. And he told me straight up, he was just like, nah, we have dudes who have gaps in their training all the time. Just come, show up, do what you can. So then when you can go at it fully, you at least know something. So that's what I did. When I was on breaks and all that stuff, I pulled up to Greensboro when I wasn't in school, when I was at home in Raleigh. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Or if I was in West Virginia and I had downtime, football season was over, the springtime was over, I was willing to take that drive to get down there so I can learn a little something. So don't be afraid to get on the road and drive, man. Good training within wrestling is worth it. So do your research and don't be afraid to make a move if you got to make a move, if that's what you really want to do.
Yeah, I think that's very important. If you have wrestling aspirations, don't be afraid to make a move, because not making a move you could regret later on. So that is definitely true. I want to ask you, who were some of your wrestling idols? Who were some of your wrestling influences growing up?
Bro, Booker T. I freaking love Booker T. And I know everybody be like, Booker T, King Booker. I don't care. Give me all of them. I love Booker T. I
Even
freaking love
GI Bro
no,
too?
no. Booker T, man. Booker T is Booker T. You know what I'm saying? I love Booker. I freaking used to
Yeah.
love me some daggone Kurt Angle. You know what I'm saying? I love me some Kurt Angle. That man could just flat out go.
Yeah.
Physique, all that stuff. I just love Kurt. Give me one sec. Batista. Batista and Lashley are like two reasons why I wanted to get in the gym. That's just me honest. I used to look at them every single Friday night on SmackDown. I used to look at them and I just be like, bro, these dudes look crazy. Like, started doing push-ups. I was like, one day I'm gonna look like that. Now obviously I ain't 6'3", 6'5". I ain't got all that. But I said I'm gonna put on as much muscle as I possibly can and look good. You know what I'm saying? So those are some. And even though I could never emulate his style at all, I used to love Rey Mysterio. Like I just like exciting. I like fast paced stuff, man, and like high motor stuff. I just love that. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you say that because a lot of the athletes we have interviewed thus far, Rey Mysterio is definitely in their inspiration bag when it comes to professional wrestling. So don't be surprised. Like a lot of people enjoy Rey Mysterio. I enjoyed Rey Mysterio too. I watched him from his ECW times. That was like when I first got introduced to him was in ECW, the classic match that he had with Psychosis. That joint was crazy. And they had multiple matches over the years too, because they wrestled again in WCW. So it was like, as a kid, I never seen nothing like that before. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
like video game like type of moves and whatnot. You know what I mean? And of course, Booker T was also, one person that I watched heavily as a kid, especially with his brother, Stevie Ray, and watched them when they were with Sensational Sherry, when they were with Colonel Robert Parker. Like I'm going back. You know what I'm saying? When they was when they WCW used to have this show called WCW Wild. It was called Wild Side or whatever like that. And they yeah, man. So I feel you. On those picks. So I want to ask you, talk about your first ever match. What was that experience like?
all right. So I had just graduated from Firestar. I was coming in. We used to do this show called not Blackout. What was it called? Future Fire, Future Star. What was it? Future? I can't remember. Future Blaze. Because it's always a fire thing. So it's Future Blaze, right? It was all the young dudes. Feel me? So I go out there. I'm supposed to be in a triple threat match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this whole time, it's supposed to be me, this dude named Indy King JT, and then this other dude from Virginia. His name is Wyatt Sutton. That's the triple threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pull up. That's what I was thinking about all week. I'm like, let's go. We call this whole match, and I'm super confident, nervous and confident at the same time. Next thing you know, this cat comes up to us. Y'all know him as Teriyaki. He's a really good wrestler, really good dude. I believe he's from Georgia. He came through. He said, "Yeah, my opponent ain't show up, so we got a fatal 4-way now." And I was just like, all of us collectively, me, JT, and Wyatt Sutton, were just like, "Freak, we go." And I was just like, we just playing this whole match. We got to restart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the show starts like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Screw it, whatever. That's wrestling. So we playing the whole match, and it was cool. I come out the curtain, and I'm come out second. I didn't know what to do. I'm wearing these white biker shorts that I had got from just most basic biker shorts with a dog on the side. That's when I was going by Mad Dog Blade Brown. Wearing some boxing shoes and a white tank top. And I was like, screw it. I come out, I said, I'm gonna just be as energetic as possible. I come out energetic, and I get the little, hey, pity clap, like, oh, wrestler. Okay, cool, whatever. And I'm like, hey, whatever, I just gotta keep being me. Nobody knows who I am. That's fine. Get in the ring, do our thing. So the match goes on. Boom, I end up hitting I was using T-Bone suplex as a finish. I hit Wyatt Sutton with it. Boom, 1, 2, 3. I win. Brother shakes my hand in the middle of the ring, raises my hand. Everybody starts cheering. Not cheering like, oh, you won, congrats. Cheering like, oh, I'm behind this dude. I get out the ring. And next thing, so I get an interview outside the ring. And interview asks his question. As I go to try to answer the question, everybody in the arena starts barking. Because, I was going by Mad Dog. They start barking. And I'm like, so I start barking. Boom. Grab the mic, do my interview. Everything's going crazy. They're going crazy. They love me. And then, from then on, I was like, okay, I don't know how long this is going to last, but I'm going to be barking for a little bit. So that's what I was known by for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, just to let you know, there's a few dogs out there in professional wrestling. There's a few of them now. So,
yeah, that's cool. They can have it now because I done moved on to something else.
Yeah, you got M Dog, you got M Dog 2020, you got what's his face, Braun Breaker be barking. You know what I'm saying? His father Rick Steiner was barking. So
hey, but listen, I come out of in front of some crowds, and folks still do it, even when I don't want them to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's certain crowds at certain places in North Carolina. They see me, that's what they gonna do, and I mean, I appreciate that. It is, and that's part of the reason why I even moved on from it. You got to evolve at some point. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I just wanted to be more me.
So I want to ask you this: top of the food chain. What made you come up with that, and how did it fit your character?
So I'm gonna be real. So with the barking and the Mad Dog stuff, I just hit a plateau and I started to hate it. You know what I'm saying? And then they always tell you in wrestling that the best, characters are just you times 10. And while the barking and stuff was cool, I just wasn't feeling it no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't walk around in my everyday life barking. You know what I'm saying? So I had to sit down and I started thinking about who I am. And I started thinking about, when I play football, the boxing tournament, anywhere I go, people typically turn heads and look at me. You know what I'm saying? They see me, to see the way I look, and they're always just like, what do? You used to play football, huh? What position? I tell them, linebacker. Oh, of course. Yeah, you definitely look like that. So to me, it was like I look like something. Top of the food chain, looking the wild. You know what I'm saying? Everybody acknowledges when the top apex predators come around.
Of course.
Everybody knows. You could be a rhino is going to look when a lion comes around. All right? Could a rhino possibly spear a lion to death? Absolutely, it could. Does it want to? Not if it don't have to. Doesn't want to fool with that lion on any given day. And I started thinking about it. That's kind of been a story of me in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, People notice me. They recognize me. I don't even be saying nothing, but my presence does something. I thought about it. I'm just like, yo, that's some real top of the food chain type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People know who you are. Your presence does something to them. You ain't even got to say anything. And so I just started running with that. And then how does that fit me now? I mean, 3 years in, I'm trying to get somewhere with all of this. Now it's just like you ain't got no choice but to recognize me. You know what I'm saying? I do something when I enter. I do something when I enter a room, and anybody who denies that is lying. You feel me? Yeah. People know fat meat is greasy around here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well, I definitely can acknowledge that the confidence and the swagger, I see it. I seen it from the jump. As soon as I seen your picture, I seen it from jump. I said, yeah, this guy knows where he's going. He knows where he's heading. He don't need no GPS. He definitely knows where he's going. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, I feel like that's important because if you know where your character is going as far as a wrestler, then you're definitely going to open more doors for yourself in the long run. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you don't have no type of character direction, it's going to be kind of hard for you to like really navigate, you know what I mean? And then you kind of like when you don't have a character direction and you leave it in the company's hands, they might put you in a character that's really not you. You know what I mean? We've seen it plenty times before in wrestling history. We've seen some awkward characters. We've seen some characters that worked, and we've seen some characters that didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's important. If you already have who you are and you come to the table and the promotion enjoys it and loves it, you already on your way. You know what I mean? So I think that's dope. You know what I mean? That you already had your mindset on this is what I was going to do and how I was going to be. So I think that's dope. So, what challenges did you face when you was breaking into the wrestling business?
trying to get people to like notice me, recognize me. I feel like that's a lot of just trying to figure out how can I get out there more. You know what I'm saying? And then there's so many different pieces of advice on how to do that. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's really just trial and error.
Right.
Um, it's trial and error. You might show up to a show, help set up, break down, get a spot. You might show up to a show, set up, break down, and you won't even get as much as a thank you. You know what I'm saying? Or all you will get is a thank you, and then bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But things can flip, things can change. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think since then it's just been, do what you can until you can do more. So show up where you're loved, show up where you're wanted, and that can lead to other things. And I think it's hard. It was hard for me to recognize that. And I think it's hard for a lot of wrestlers to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff is going to come.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't hang your head at every little disappointment because there's a lot of disappointments in this business. But you can't hang your head at all of when you ain't going to be able, you got to look up because you got places to be. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was just the main thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's very, 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 very important not to hang your head low when you're starting off. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know where you're going to be heading until you actually get there. So I think that's very important too. And I think you reiterating that by letting the folks know that you got to just keep going, keep pushing through it, regardless of the acknowledgement or not, is important because I know it could be discouraging. Like you starting off and a lot of people know you and they're like, oh, where is he going to do? Or where is he from? Or oh, what type of character is this? Because honestly speaking, these are the type of things that fans say all the time. You know what I mean? And I know it could get frustrating. I know it could get frustrating because you guys are risking your bodies, your livelihood, you know what I'm saying? And at times like you could be like 10 years, 10, 15, 20 years in the business and still not get to the elite of a WWE or AEW or TNA or New Japan. So then you be known as that journeyman that just can go. That's it. And sometimes that's good for certain people, but honestly speaking, what is the main goal? The main goal is to get, just like your title says, to the top of the food chain. You get what I'm saying?
That's what everybody wants. Like
It,
that's what everybody wants. I mean, actually, I ain't gonna say everybody, You know what I'm saying? Because I have met some people that are just like, I just want to try it out, see what I can do. I met some people who jumped in and they're a little old and they just like, man, I just wanted to have this dream. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind just sticking around here. You know what I'm saying? But most people that I come across, yeah, they want to ink their name somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, but that stuff, man, ain't no such thing as an overnight success, man. You gotta, the journey is valuable. You know what I'm saying? There's lessons that you have to learn. And then like and then from personal experience, and this isn't with wrestling, this is with other things, ain't nothing worse than thinking that you ready, getting there and realizing that you ain't.
Nice,
You know what
you
I'm
ain't
saying?
ready. Yeah, that
So
is
it's the
super
journey.
facts. That is
Yeah.
super facts. I think with professional wrestling too, especially with the training, I think humility is important. Humility is important. If you're not humble when you coming into that business, you gonna fall flat on your face a lot. And
Hmm.
I've heard stories about, wrestlers that are not humble and they fell on their face plenty of times before the light bulb clicked and it was like, oh, yeah, I gotta get it together. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that is super facts, man. So I wanna ask you, do you prefer focusing more on your technical wrestling or your power moves or your high flying style? Which one in between, or you just a hybrid of all, styles?
I mean, I really like the brawler and powerful moves and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get down with whoever and the best of them. Now, I ain't out here doing no daggone 450s and shooting star. I ain't out here. I ain't doing all that.
You sure? You sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive. I don't need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I get down there. For me, it's just doing what's necessary doing what I can, what's necessary to make everything we do together make sense. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
right, right.
So, yeah, but I'm like the powerful moves. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
can get technical if I have to. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I like the whole brawler style. That's me.
So you want so you even though you like the brawler style as your number one way of offense, you wouldn't consider grappling or submission tactics or things of that nature or breaking down your opponent. Maybe like Kurt Angle used to do that a lot. Randy Orton used to do that a lot. Bobby Lashley has been doing it
Hmm.
a lot more in the later parts of his career when he's with AEW. He's been doing that a lot more. Before it was more power moves and stuff like that, but now you can see him trying to break down his opposition, more submission tactics. Same thing with Sheldon Benjamin, but Sheldon Benjamin, I really consider him like a hybrid, just about because he does everything like solid. Like he's really good
Yeah.
at everything from submissions, high flying, like everything is a specialty. So what I'm asking you is that considering that brawling is your number one aspect, you won't consider diving in to like those other aspects to sharpen your skill
I
set?
do. I do definitely want to get into more breaking stuff, breaking my opponents down, being more technical and all that stuff, just to add a different flavor. You
Mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
I definitely do want to sharpen that up.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Who would
I'm
you
still not
see?
doing no 450s. I ain't doing all that. I'll tell you that right now.
He said he ain't doing no 450s. He said he ain't doing none of that. hey, I when I look at your style, I see a lot of like inspirations. Who would you see yourself being inspired by as far as your wrestling abilities?
Monty Brown, that was a big
The
one for
alpha
me.
male, the alpha male. Wow, yo, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
26. I was born in 1999.
So okay. So you got a glimpse of Monty Brown. Yeah, he was the truth. He was
Yeah,
the truth. So you got a chance to see him in TNA.
yeah. I love Monty Brown.
Monty Brown is one of my favorite wrestlers. I lied to you not, bro. Like, he's one, like, I'm so upset that he did not capture that title. He was supposed to, look, this man was supposed to hold that TNA title. He was supposed to hold the WWE title. Man.
He was supposed to have a lot more. But, unfortunately, some things got in the way, in wrestling and in real life, with everything with his sister and all that stuff. But, that happens in his life. Like, it'd be like that. But, he's still talked about to this day. Everybody knows what Monty Brown was about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Monty Brown, the alpha male, like the pounce, bro. He's the originator of the pounce. He's the originator. Like, yeah, man.
Nobody do it like him.
Nah, for sure. What would you say, as far as your trainers and your mentors, who would you say that inspired you the most as far as getting you ready for the professional wrestling world?
LeBron Cozone, that was my trainer, and he's just a huge help. I mean, he inspired a lot of guys in the North Carolinas, whether directly or indirectly. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing but good things to really be said about him in terms of wrestling, man. He really puts his neck out on line for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
LeBron Cozone is no joke, bro. I've seen the first time I've seen him in action was on Ashe Wrestling. Have you watched Ashe before?
Yeah. Yes, sir, of course.
Okay, yeah. That was the first time I seen him in action. Since then, I started going back to his earlier matches, and this dude is no joke. That match he had with Yaya, we reviewed that match on the show. 5 stars in my opinion. 5 stars.
Yeah, he can just flat out go, man. You talk to him. You want to talk about, like, he literally eats, sleep, breathes wrestling. Like, like he's just all wrestling, man, and it shows. And it shows when he gets out there. So that's definitely a big one for me.
So we talked about your wrestling style. We talk about your personal favorites as far as wrestling. Let's talk about your signature move. What signature moves that you got in your playbook that you use on your opposition?
So I've used the pounce. For a long while, like the first 2 years of my career, I was T-bone suplex, Shelton Benjamin style. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I used to get everybody up. I used to love it. I still got it, but and then the spear and a belly-to-belly suplex overhead. Those are some of my staples right there.
Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up.
Slam people. I like to throw people.
Well, what would you consider like your go-to to end the match?
The spear.
The spear?
Everybody like to be like, oh, everybody does the spear. I don't care. Everybody don't do the spear like top of the food chain, Blade Brown, so it doesn't matter. When I hit a spear, people think that I crush his insides. When I hit a spear, people leave their feet. When I hit a spear, man, you better off getting hit by a Mack truck than a spear by me. I promise you. My spear ain't like everybody else's spear. I'm not hugging you to the ground. All right, I'm running right through your mother-loving face, just like Marshawn Lynch said. You run through a mofo face, and he ain't gonna want to hit you no more. All right, that's my mindset. That's my mentality. I want to end it. That's it right there.
So who would you say got the best spear in wrestling right now? Who would you say right now? Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put Blade Brown at the top of the list. All right, but everybody except for Blade Brown right now. Braun Breaker's out there wrecking fools right now with the daggone spear. You know what I'm saying? Braun Breaker's killing dudes every week with it. And he's finding different ways to do it. Braun Breaker got it. Now, if you want me, can I just say that they always leave Rhino off the list of great spears?
Yeah, that's true.
Man. That man Rhino used to kill people with that daggone gore. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I love
Yeah.
Goldberg. Love Batista. I love Edge. A
Mm.
Rhino? The Man Beast? Come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
come on, man.
Rhino Spear is devastating. I think the best spears he thrown was when he was in ECW. Like
Yeah.
them spears was, I thought he was broken. I thought he broke half of his opposition in half when he threw them spears. Like he definitely threw a spear. You know who throws a good spear too? Moose. You seen Moose's spear?
Yeah.
Moose
Moose?
when he flips when he does the spear. He flips.
Yeah.
What you think of
Moose,
his spear?
it's it's definitely smooth, and a dude like Moose hitting you, that ain't no joke. Boy, you
Mm-hmm.
ain't getting up. Boy,
Mm-hmm.
ever since he really leaned out, man, come on.
Yeah, yeah, he
Come on, man.
definitely when he I was watching his interview and he was talking about his regimen to get to his body to where it's at right now. Like he definitely once he did that, you could tell his whole mindset changed and he became like that world championship material that everybody's looking for. That's why I feel like WWE is so high on him right now as far as him
Yeah.
coming into the company when he does. Because let's be for real, a lot of them TNA guys are going to transition to WWE eventually. Some of them already have, So yeah, you're right
Yeah.
about that. Um, do you have any rivalries at the moment? Your rivalries. Who you beefing with right now? Who you beefing with?
I'm gonna forever have beef with SoFly Manny Low.
Okay.
I'm gonna forever have beef with him.
Uh-huh.
Forever have beef with him. We just wrestled my first match back about 2-3 weeks ago,
Okay.
and for the Firestar Heavyweight Championship, because
Mm-hmm.
I earned my right at a title shot anytime I wanted. 2024 at Firestar Wrestle Revival,
Mm-hmm.
and I got hurt before I could cash it in.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been super freaking lucky that I've been gone for 6 months. And he's
Mm-hmm.
been lighting it up, and he's been having a little fairy tale run and everything. But I had to come back and try to get what's mine. And don't get me wrong, he got me. All right, September 13th, he got me, but it's not over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over. He's still on a fairy tale. He barely escaped. I'm gonna
Yeah.
forever have beef with him. I'm gonna have beef with him till I get my title. I'm gonna have beef with him until after I get my title, and after that, I got beef with whoever won it. That's
Hey,
it.
I hear you. I hear you. Who would you say are some of your besides who you just mentioned? Who would you say is another rival of yours, or some of your biggest rivals that you've had this far?
AC Divine.
Okay.
Right now, I'm currently 7-0 against it, but he's 7-0 against him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Rob Killjoy. We had a rivalry back in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
He got him out my way. Plain and simple. And we had 2 matches. Then we had one that led. We actually had a brawl at Boxcar. Yeah,
Okay.
barroom brawl at Boxcar in Greensboro. You should go and check that match out. It's on YouTube.
Okay, I will. I will
And
for
there was
sure.
thumbtacks. There was thumbtacks. There was bats. There was baking sheets. There was everything. We fought in the arcade, around the bar, all of that. And at the end of the day, I knocked his head off, and I ended up winning. So,
And that's what I was getting ready to ask you next because we always ask the athletes about this. What do you think of deathmatch wrestling?
hey man, everybody has their own style,
Okay.
and that's all I'm gonna say. Everybody has their own style. That's not my style. You know what I'm saying? But everybody has their own
You
style.
you
There's a
sure you was pretty close to it? You said you was wrestling in thumbtacks, so you was pretty close to
There's a
it.
big difference. There's a big difference between thumbtacks and glass and lights and all that other stuff. There's a big difference, buddy. No, death match ain't my style. Hey, look, if I'm facing somebody in a death match, we really got beef. Like, I don't want to talking about this mug, dog. You know what I'm saying? We got beef, and I'm getting the fattest check of my entire life. All right, I'm talking about I can pay my bills for the next 6 months with this check.
he
If I
said
got
He said y'all gotta pay him to do that. He said he ain't doing that for free. He ain't doing that for no nickel and diamond. You heard that? He said that. He said, "Hey man, I feel you, bro. Like I like watching it, but I don't know if I can participate in it."
It's cool. I'm gonna leave that to them. You want to sit here? I'm tougher than you, hey, bro. If that's what it take, you got it, homie. You got it, bro.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, we gotta welcome in my co-host, Darkwing Dubbed. Salute. He is in the building. I know he got a plethora of questions, so I'm gonna tag him in real quick and let him ask away. Go ahead, big bro.
Sorry. I'm late, y'all. Bro, so I noticed that, I don't know, I wasn't able to listen to much, so I don't know if you guys got into your D1 football stuff.
Mm-hmm. So actually, it wasn't D1. I was D2.
D2, okay.
D2. Yeah, I played at Concord University. It's in Athens, West Virginia. And I was there from 2017 to 2021. Played linebacker.
What position did you play? A linebacker. Okay. So tell me how training as a linebacker helped you with your training getting into professional wrestling.
Obviously, you got to be in the weight room. You got to have quick feet. All right. You got to have good feet, not just quick feet, good feet. You know what I'm saying? People be quick, be all over the place. You can't do that in linebacker, and you definitely can't do that in wrestling. You'll throw everything off. So that being strong, not only being strong just to be able to handle people, but also being able to like protect yourself. Linebacker, you take a lot. You give hits, but you're also gonna take some as well. Like you're taking impact all the time. Wrestling, you're taking impact all the time. People think being in the gym is just about looking good with wrestling. No, you need to be able to take slams and moves without damaging your body. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a difference with a certain level of muscle mass. The difference between me taking a move and the average Joe taking a move. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna put it. So being able to cushion those blows and give those blows effectively, that's all the same to me.
I played it was high school and then some small JUCO school in Kansas, but I played linebacker and defensive end, and I know that stuff will wear you out. Them dudes there, them offensive linemen, especially when you're a defensive end, them offensive linemen want to take your knees out, bruh. I done had 3 knee surgeries, 2 of them because of that.
Yeah, dude, they get up. Man, I'll tell you something. Them linemen get ugly, boy, when you go to college. You know, it get ugly down there, but it's football. It's all in the name of it. I'll never forget my sophomore year when I finally got a starting spot, and it was my first game that I started. That Monday after, I never, ever felt like that in a million years. That was the most sore I've ever been after a game. And then I remember I was in the weight room. We were doing our Monday lifts, and I was doing squats. And I was going, and I had to pause midway through. And one of my senior defensive end came up to me. He looked, he was like, "It hurt, don't it?" I was like, "Bro, I ain't never been this sore after no game." But I never felt like that again. In that game itself, I don't even remember it being the most physical game that I've ever been in. But I think just because, like, yeah, I was a sophomore, but like I really being a starter at that point, I was like, okay, I really stepped into a new level. You know what I mean? Like, and that was just kind of my wake up call. Now I never felt like that after a game ever again because I don't know what the difference was, but it was just that Monday after that game, boy, like I was beat up.
I feel that. I mean, people like to look at football as like, oh, anybody can do it. No. Not just anybody can do it. Anybody can get out there and try, but to actually succeed, no. It's a different mentality.
People be delusional. That's why when some people, they be sitting on their couch criticizing guys in college, guys in the NFL, I just be like God, I'm talking about people who never played. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you didn't at least finish high school, you don't have any right to talk about anybody on TV. You can't
I'm
say
right there with you.
anything. If you didn't finish high school, man, just shut up.
I'm
You
right there
quit
with
your
you.
freshman year talking about some, yeah, man, I have family problems. Man, shut up, man. That don't even make sense, man. That's number one excuse right there. I got family problems. Man, shut up, boy. That don't even make no sense.
I mean, and if you quit because of that, well, football will also give you another family too if you stick with it. I met some of my lifelong friends playing football in middle school.
Yeah.
So get you a whole new family doing that. Also saw you won a Toughman competition.
Yeah, man. So after football, I was still up there. I had so much time on my hands. I was finishing my degree. And then I was just like, dang. So some of my, my younger teammates, they go on, well, former teammates at that time, it's like, they still get up for spring ball and all that stuff. And I was just like, bro, I have nothing to do. Like, this is the first time I've been in college with nothing to do. And there was this gym called Advantage Martial Arts near my school. And I had started going there my freshman year when I had downtime. Somebody just brought me out there and I met those people. They were cool. And I was actually learning jiu-jitsu. But then I went out there and I was just like, man, I want to box. I want to strike. So I was doing all the classes and I just really like boxing. And then getting super good at it and all that stuff. But I knew that I was leaving soon, like going back home. I talked to my trainer. His name is Derek, man. He's like one of the best boxers out of West Virginia. I believe right now he's the West Virginia state champ. He's merged multiple titles up there. He's just a freaking dog, man. If you ever got a time to look at him, Derek, you can call him Daywalker. Amazing dude, Derek Lambert. But anyways, I talked to him. I said, man, is there anything that I can do that I can compete in? Like any type of tournament out there? Like, what can I do? He was just like, come here, let me show you something. He walks me back to their their trophy room. And on the wall, there's some jackets. Say rough and rowdy, and then some say tough man. And he was just like, that's coming up here in April. He was just like, go research it and tell me what you think. So I went back, I researched it. I was weighing like 232 pounds at the time because I was still at my playing weight. And I was looking, there was 4 weight classes, all right? And I was looking at it and I was like, all right, I can either drop to 215 and be one of the heaviest out here, fighting from 190 to 215 and fight here, or I can stay where I'm at and fight from 216 to 400. And I was like, I'm going to drop these pounds and I'm going to see what I can do. You know what I'm saying? So I went back to Derek. I said, do what I got to do, what I need to do. He was like, we'll get you right. Started training for it, got me on a little diet plan. I went from 230. I weighed in that day at 212 when I went to go fight. Went out there. It was 30 people in my weight class, right? 12 of them didn't even show up. Like, I guess they were just scared, right? I go out there. So there's 18 of us left. I go weigh in and I start walking. As I'm walking, this part of I got my top of the food chain. As I start walking by everybody after weigh-ins, everybody's just looking at me. This is the leanest that I've ever looked. I'm in this black tank top. Everybody's watching at me. And they're just like, and I can just see as I'm walking by, people just like, who the freak is this? Because all of those guys are local guys, but I'm from North Carolina. They don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Dudes just start coming up to me. Hey, man, what weight class you in? Tell them. Fighting cruiserweight. I got 1 or 2 responses. I either got, whew, thank God, or I got, damn. And I was just like, I'm going to do me. Everybody keeps coming up, trying to talk to me, ask me questions. There's this one cat who had been, I guess, the winner for the past few years. And he was like a local teacher. You know what I'm saying? And he fought in his spare time and stuff. And he had been winning the competition. And he had came up to me, shook my hand, nice to meet you and all that stuff. I guess he thought that this was his year to win. The finals came down to me and him. So I knocked out my first dude in the first round. Second fight, on the second night, I came back. I knocked out the next dude in the first round. Shout out to that dude, because ever since then that man's been training in Virginia, and now he's like an amateur king right now. But he's doing, he owes me a thank you, because I guess I sparked him up and motivated him a little bit. Then there was like a local football coach who also fought in his spare time. I beat him in the 3rd round, and for months after that, dudes would recognize me in the gym to be like some high schoolers, and they'd be like, "You fought in the Toughman, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was like, "Yeah, you beat up my football coach. We make fun of him every single day." I'll be like, "Oh,
yo.
then,
Gotta get the Shao Kahn laugh.
hey, that's what
Yo,
happened.
that's diabolical, yo.
That's what they said. I'm not talking trash. They came up to me. All I wanted to do was go see what I could do. Then my 4th and final fight, the finals came down to me and that dude who's been, I guess, in it and winning it, the local hometown hero. Now let me tell you about this. We and him are in the finals, right? Everybody loves him because they know him, right? So I'm expecting when I get out there that I'm about to get booed. Like, they just like don't rock with me or whatever. We do the final introductions. I'm sitting here shaking. They say my name. I turn around. I'm in a double-decker arena. It's the Beckley Armory. I'm in a double-decker arena. They say my name, and I turn around and raise my hand. Floor to the top. Everybody going bananas. Like, let's go. Got their money on me. I'm like, what the freak? When I tell you, like, adrenaline and everything, like, this was right before I was going to make my debut in wrestling. That was when I was like, oh, my God. Like, this is what it feels like. I couldn't believe it. Everybody going crazy. So me and him, we go at it. It goes the distance. I win by unanimous decision. I walk away with the jacket and $1,000. Shook brother's hand. We exchanged Facebooks and stuff. We still cool to this day. But ever since then, I was a champ. And then afterwards, people taking pictures with me. I'd be walking down the street and people would be like, "You just want a Toughman." Yeah, like just all the time, people just be recognizing me. I'd be in the grocery store. Like, I felt like a celebrity for the rest of that time I was in West Virginia, bro. It was crazy.
Have you thought about before you went into pro wrestling? Did you think about going into boxing full time or going into the mixed martial arts full time?
Man, so it was always something that was when I decided that I'm always going to train. You know what I'm saying? Because I just think everybody should. You need to learn how to fight and learn to defend yourself. Especially, I just want people to feel safer with me in the room. That was my whole thing. And I still got that urge and drive to compete, but like wrestling was something I was like, man, this is what I want to chase. You know what I'm saying? Like fighting, wrestling. Would I put wrestling down for a few months to train for a tournament and fight? Absolutely. I would be willing to do that because I'm not like, I fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a football player. I like competition. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go do freaking flag football. I'm like, man, that's lame. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do freaking pickleball. I don't want to do, no offense to anybody who does pickleball, but I don't want to do that. Like, if I'm going to compete, I'm going to use, look at what God blessed me with. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go out there and use what God blessed me with. You know what I'm saying? So like, I thought about it, but I was like, I knew I wanted to chase wrestling, so this is what I'm going to chase. But I do still train, you know what I'm saying? I haven't lately because of my injury, but I do still train. I do stay active. I do want to honestly get out there in some jiu-jitsu and do some tournaments, man, because they got some nice medals and nice belts that I want to put around my body, you know what I'm saying? But like full-time, try to chase that, to go pro and all that stuff, I was just like, nah, man, because I really want to chase this wrestling, you know?
So are you more big into boxing or are you more big into mixed martial arts?
Bigger than mixed martial arts because I actually started to fall in love with Muay Thai. I wanted to use my whole body. My whole thing was I wanted to learn how to kick, right? Because I always said, I was just like, man, if I ever got into it with a dude on the street, I'm going to head kick this fool and I'm going to go viral. That was my whole thing. But the more that I learned, this, you know, the more that you learn and the more discipline you get, you start to realize, no. First of all, you don't want to do all that. Second of all, first of all, you don't want to fight on the street anyway. You know what I'm saying? But if you got into it, you're going to want to end it as soon as possible. There's a lot of margin for error throwing a head kick on the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I really do like striking overall, and I really do like Muay Thai. I just think it's beautiful. I think it's fun. I love Glory Kickboxing, ONE FC, watching that stuff. Man, those dudes are freaking amazing. I like kickboxing.
I remember because you brought up Muay Thai. You talking about how beautiful it is. I remember watching Anderson Silva put somebody in that Muay Thai clinch and just knee. Oh my gosh, that
If
that was some of the most devastating knees that I've seen anybody take was when he did it.
listen, if you
I
want
tell you, not to cut y'all off, I'll tell you one devastating knee that I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Remember, y'all know MVP, right? MVP, okay. MVP when he used to fight for Bellator, did the most devastatingest knee I've ever seen in MMA. Y'all gotta know what I'm talking about. When the dude charged at him and he went forward and he did like y'all know Street Fighter Saget he literally did
bicycle knee,
the tiger knee. He literally did the tiger knee like Saget and hit this dude so hard in his forehead he put a dent in his forehead. Look it up. That was crazy. Look it up. I'm telling you right now, that he put a dent, in like a dent in his forehead. Look it up. You'll see. Look up MVP dents his opponent's forehead with a knee. It was like either a knee or a strike, one of them two. Dented his forehead. That was it for dude. After that, it was a wrap. His whole MMA career was over after that.
it gets ugly out there.
Have you used any of your MMA background, anything, or your tough man background in the wrestling ring?
I've done a few boxing combinations before, but not really so much. You know what I'm saying? I actually really want to get into jiu-jitsu because we were just talking about that earlier. I really want to try to dive heavy into jiu-jitsu and really start trying to break dudes down that way. Because jiu-jitsu, when you get good at it, boy, it look good. You know what I'm saying? It look beautiful. And technical wrestling, technical wrestlers, period. Like I do think they just have a phenomenal, unique style, and everything just looks deadly. And my whole thing is always wanting to look. I want my stuff to always look real. I want when I do something, with everybody to be like, oh, hold on, man, that was real. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to dive into jiu-jitsu and start to utilize. That's what I
I
want.
feel that. Before I move on to my bro over here, after you were done with college football, did you get any tryouts with the NFL or even nowadays the United Football League or whatever it's called?
Nah, the most I ever really got was I got invited to a bowl and all that other type of stuff, but I kind of was just like afterwards, I was just kind of done. Like I didn't want to do it anymore. I really wanted to dive into wrestling. I got hit up by the indoor football league, about 2 years after I was done playing. I thought I was just kind of random, and I read it and I really thought about it and everything. But then I started looking, and I was just like, man, I don't want to go live in none of these cities, making $200 a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, nah, it's not worth it. And then when I really thought about it, one of my boys, that's playing football, he saw me, he looked, and he was like, bruh, I know it looked fun. And no, he said it is, but he said keep doing what you're doing. It was like don't jump out of this because he was like it looked cool and all. And don't get me wrong, playing is cool, but he was just like it's not the same. And he was just like just stay where you are, stay what you're doing because you know you love wrestling. And honestly, he was right. So I'm kind of glad I did it because I think I would have regretted putting wrestling down, trying to go chase football again. Because I didn't. I mean, for me, it was nothing left to chase anymore. With that, you know.
Go ahead, bro.
So we talked about your football career. We talked about your tough man career. So let's talk about the physical and the mental aspects of professional wrestling. So, what would you say is the toughest part of those two things? Because you definitely have to have a strong mental to get in that professional wrestling ring and to be able to take those moves. At the same time, you have to be physically strong as well. So, the development of your mental and your physical, how hard was that for you?
The physical was never a problem. Like for me, now, I'm not gonna speak for everybody. Some people have a problem with it. That was never a problem. I caught on really fast. I could easily do this, that, and I can do everything. You know what I'm saying? Except 450s. I know you was about to say that. I can do everything. But you know that part wasn't hard for me. For me, the battle was definitely all mental. You know, one of the things for me, I came from a sport to where I had to prepare myself to move another man against his will and not be moved against mine.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know, so that was tough for me. Mentally, it was tough for me. Also, just like in wrestling, you know, there's more than one ways to skin a cat. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like in football, they teach you, yeah, there's multiple, you know, they teach you certain techniques and you got to perfect that technique. You know what I'm saying? With wrestling, wasn't always like that. You know, you go to one school to teach you how to do it this way. You go to learn from somebody else who's well respected, teach you how to do it this way. Another person's well respected, teach you how you do it another way. And they all say the same thing. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Well, then to you, new, fresh coming in, you just like, well, how do I reconcile this? I mean, my trainer told me this, but this person has made it very far, and they telling me this, and this person, and so that part mentally was frustrating because you hearing a million different things, but you don't know what to do with all of it. You know what I'm saying? So part of that was just taking time for you to recognize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just recognize that everybody has their own journey, and you just got to realize that you're on yours. Sometimes you got to do what works for you. You feel me? Um, and speaking of all, I just used the word journey. That's hard mentally too. Some people get in it and they shoot to the moon fast. Some people it takes a minute. You know what I'm saying? Some people take some for, you know, like it's and how was just I'm not gonna pull up anywhere expecting anything. I'm just going to pull up and control what I can control, and I'm gonna have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm done. Like I told myself, I'm done. That's one thing I learned this injury, man. I'm done stressing about what I can't control, stressing about somebody else getting this, that, and the third. And I'm trying to figure out how can I get this, that, and the third. Man, all that stuff will come, man. But like, don't stress. Have fun. Because at the end of the day, this is all of our dream. You know what I'm saying? So have fun chasing your dream. Have fun. Live. People, you know what? I take that back. Being a wrestler, that was the dream. And we're all realizing that. Inking your name somewhere and all that, that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? But your dream, you're living your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ask your 5-year-old self, you go back and tell your 5-year-old self, hey, man, you traveling on the weekends to go wrestle in front of a crowd. Sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 300. I've been in front of both. And guess what? I bet you my 5-year-old self would look at me and say, what? Like he'd probably do backflips. You know what I'm saying? He would do 450s.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how happy. Like that. That's how he would be. So people don't recognize that, bro. Like you are living your dream. You know what I'm saying? So don't sit here and think because you haven't reached your goal just yet. Your goal don't happen overnight. Just because you haven't reached your goal just yet, that doesn't mean that you're failing. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. They think because they're not somewhere by a certain point that they're failing. You're not failing, bro. You're not failing. You know what I'm saying? So have fun.
What
Wait,
were you,
hold on, real quick, not to cut y'all off. So you saying you can't do a 450?
I've never tried, and and I don't foresee myself ever trying.
Yeah,
All right.
we had the discussion before you came. We was talking about Rey Mysterio, and we was talking about aerial attacks. He said no 450s. I was like, you sure? You sure? You're positive?
Shooting stars? No, I'll pass. It's not that serious. It's not that
He said, not that
serious.
serious.
Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you talking about?
What would you say was the biggest lesson that professional wrestling has taught you thus far?
It goes back to what I just said. Enjoy yourself and have fun. Because that's what this is supposed to be at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, you really can't get focused on what somebody else got. Because that's going to prohibit you from doing the best that you can. And you're going to start to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to hate something that you fell in love with at a young age? You don't.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy yourself and have fun. That's what this thing has taught me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a lot of things ain't going to make sense. And guess what? So is life. It ain't got to make sense.
Very, very true. Very, very true. Especially in professional wrestling, you gonna run, and we spoke about that earlier. You know, you gonna run into some situations that might not make sense, but it's gonna line you up to something. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times you might not have no choice but to play it out to see what happens. You know what I mean? We've all seen some obscene character developments over the course of the years as far as professional wrestling, but it all led to something, and then others kind of did it, but you know what I mean? I feel like professional wrestling is a lot about taking chance. You know what I'm saying? Chance you gonna go this way, or chance you gonna go that way, or chance that you could just be that fork in the road and go towards the middle. You know what I mean? You never really know. You never really know until you try. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what professional wrestling is. In my opinion. Yeah. So let's talk about promotions. What are some of the promotions that you might see yourself wrestling in the near future?
In the near future, obviously, I'm sticking around Firestar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got an opportunity not too long ago at Ashe. I was on a pre-show. Some
Okay.
people ain't show up. Some people ain't show up. So I was ready to go, and I went. And I'm hoping, man, that it can turn into something. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But if I'm just being real with you, Dominant Championship Wrestling also. That's down here in Raleigh,
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh and Selma area. But at the same time, man, I am, I'm kind of building myself from the ground up. My injury, man, being out 6 months just really kind of set me back, and I feel like I've hit reset.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go out and, kind of restarting, but I'm not restarting from nothing like I was before.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said early on, I'm gonna do what I can until I can do more.
Okay, so what are some, or let me say, who are some wrestlers that you would like to face in the near future?
In the near future, I want to face my trainer, LeBron Cozon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta get in there with him. I would love to wrestle Joe Black. This dude is dope.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Dude is dope to listen to, dope to learn from, and I would like to test my skills. Um, Honestly, those are two that I've just really been thinking about lately.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, my whole mindset is just I just want to face people that's gonna make me better. You know what I'm saying? And that I want to face people who's gonna make me better. That's it.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it back to my bro.
How are you with taking suplexes?
It's easy.
I got a wrestler in mind. Goes by
Let me
the
hear.
name of the Dirty South Suplex Machine, Travis 3000.
Travis 3000.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to see that. Blade Brown versus Travis 3000, the suplex machine himself.
Y'all in the
You good
same
with
age
taking
bracket.
suplexes?
Y-
Yeah.
Y'all in the same age bracket, and he's definitely, and y'all definitely got the same amount of years of experience too. And he's
Okay.
a pretty tough dude too. Y'all might make a classic. You know what I'm
Go out
saying?
and do something. I'm with whatever. I'm with whatever.
I think he normally wrestles for Naptown Pro up in Indianapolis. But we did have him on the show, and he did express some interest in Ashe. Just throwing that out there.
I'm open to whatever. That's what that's my. I'm open to whatever.
So, what are some of your short-term goals and some of your long-term goals within the professional wrestling ranks?
Well, short term. First of all, I just want to get back on a steady rate. After this injury, you know what I'm saying? Like really get back. You know, booking myself out there, getting out there. I want to wrestle in new states. Like I want to test Georgia. I want to, go up north. I want to try to get out to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Short term. I mean, I'll be honest. Long term, I only had one goal in mind when I started, as I do want to make it to WWE. That's my
Blade Brown versus Obafemi?
Yo, the ruler.
I like how you,
The ruler.
yeah. I like
Were
how
you
you put
part of
my-
any of the ID programs?
Nah. Nah. I mean that. I try not to set goals. I mean, of course, like I said, I want to make it to the WWE, but I try not to set goals like that. Like, oh, I need to have a tryout by this time. I need to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to put. I don't. I pray to the Lord, and once you pray and you leave something in His hands, you can't sit here and judge the route. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever route that it takes is whatever route that it takes. You know what I'm saying? It could be that. Could be a tryout. It could be, I mean, what if you had, they got a working relationship with TNA. What if you mess around and get an opportunity in TNA? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that leads, that leads to it. It just, you never know. You just never know. So that's why I try not to make I know that that's my long-term goal, obviously, but I try not to think about the way that it happens because that's not my responsibility to handle. I just got to go forth, and I'll know whatever the Lord tells me to go forth through.
So, are there some wrestlers because you said your long-term goal is to hopefully get to the WWE? Is there a few wrestlers in mind that you like? Okay, as soon as I get there, I would like to have this, and this with these guys.
It's a good question, and that's not something that I really ever even thought about. I more so had goals within the company itself. Like, for example, my biggest goal, dream, whatever, is I want to hold the Intercontinental Championship. To me, that has always been my favorite belt because I felt like that just always represented like a workhorse, somebody who's gonna go. And to me, it was just like that. That's just a beautiful belt. That's always been my favorite belt since I was a kid. Hold the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, wrestle at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a goal within a company of itself. I want to have decent storylines, memorable storylines. Because at the end of the day, that's my biggest thing with wrestling. I know I said I want to hold the Intercontinental belt, which is true, but ultimately, I don't care about titles. Like, I don't care about none of that. What I care about is when the fans think of me, they're not going to be thinking about your title. The only reason why the fans will really ever think about wrestlers and titles is because it gets brought up all the time. And it gets brought up all the time because it's got to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? That's that's the point of the sport that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Certain things have to be pushed. You got to make it relevant, right? But when you ask a fan about a wrestler, what do they always say? Oh, remember when Great Khali squeezed the life out of Rey Mysterio's head? You know what I'm saying? Oh, remember when Booker T did this? Remember when John Cena did that? You know what I'm saying? It's all about the moment that you created. So I want to be a part of some memorable moments that people will be 5 years old, and then when they turn 40, they still think about the time Blade Brown speared Manny Lowe on some wood at Wrestle Revival. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want you to be thinking about. you know. So I want to have memorable moments. You know what I'm saying? When I get there, I don't want to just be out there eating food, taking up a spot every week. You feel me?
And that's the growing frustration within WWE right now is that they have a big roster, but a bunch of them are in the back end catering, right? So let's say that you're that wrestler that's just you're at Raw or you're at SmackDown every single weekend, but you're not getting on TV. You're just sitting back there and catering. Some of the wrestlers that we don't know how true it is, of course, but you read through these reports that they refuse to go down and work in NXT. They refuse to go work down in Evolve or whatever the case may be. Would you be one of those wrestlers? Like let's say Triple H comes up to you and say, "Hey, we don't have anything for you, but Shawn got something for you down in NXT." Would you turn that down, or would you, or be like, "Yeah, let me go down there and get some work"?
I'd go down and get some work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, look at the guys who've done that. They've either got brought back up or they went out there, got released, and immediately and after they 90 days got signed somewhere else. What do you miss out on? And then some of them got signed to TNA. And then what happened when they got signed to TNA? Oh, now they got a working relationship with WWE. Oh, now they back on WWE television and TNA television. You know what I'm saying? And who knows what them checks are looking like? You know, wrestling, you got to grow. You got to keep growing your name. You know what I'm saying? I would go down and work, and also like you just never know what that's gonna do. Like I said, I'm gonna keep going back to it. You gotta do what you can, with what you have until you can do more. That's what you're gonna give me? Cool. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna show out with my 5 minutes on NXT and we go from there. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Like
Y'all,
you can always tell the guys that pull themselves out of that dark hole. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it time and time and again. So everything is a choice. Just because you were placed there, that doesn't mean that's the end. You know?
that's true. That is so true. A lot of these guys, they think that once they get up to Raw or get up to SmackDown, that's it. I should never have to go back down to NXT. I should never have to go to Evolve and work and stuff like that. But I mean, we literally just saw it. Carmelo Hayes was just back on NXT, and he worked a match on NXT with Trick Williams, and now he's back up on SmackDown having tag team matches with The Miz. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Everything serves a
bro.
purpose.
Yeah, I would. And honestly speaking, I consider NXT the better brand right now. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you know that's just my opinion. I consider them the better brand. I mean, they just putting on they putting on dope PLEs. They're putting on better PLEs than the main roster is right now. So I consider them the top brand in WWE right now, and then I put Evolve at number 2 because if you watch Evolve, Evolve is putting on some good shows too. One of my favorites, in Evolved is a guy that emulates Monty Brown. You know who I'm talking about, Keanu Carver.
Yeah.
That dude is fire. The other folks, Harlem Lewis is pretty good, and
I like Harlem Lewis.
yeah, Harlem Lewis is pretty good. What's his face? Swipe Right. I like Swipe Right. Swipe Right's all right. They remind me of Mean Street Posse. Remember Mean Street Posse, Shane McMahon's peoples? They remind me of them. So they doing some things down there for sure. They putting on some good matches. Outside of championships, what personal goals do you have that you want to achieve in wrestling?
Outside of championships.
Yeah.
Like I said, compete at a WrestleMania. Make it a WWE. Compete at a WrestleMania. Compete at a Royal Rumble. Honestly, one big thing, man, wrestle on like a big stage in front of my hometown.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Raleigh, man, it's a tight knit place. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of just talent. And I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm just talking about there's a lot of people out of Raleigh that do a lot of great things. And we just love the place and we love bringing pride to the place. And when somebody brings pride to this place in Raleigh, it means a lot. Like a lot of love is always shown. And that's something that I would definitely want to do. Just bring
Yeah.
some pride to that place and compete in front of my hometown.
Could you ever see yourself wrestling like a New Japan?
I'd rise to any challenge. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say. I never like I said, I would never judge the route anywhere. But my dream, goal, aspiration has always been WWE. You know, being in the States. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if that's where God took me, that's where He took me.
The only reason why I say that is because you being a Toughman champion, it got a lot of tough opposition out there that would test you as far as your wrestling capabilities and that strong style. Just by looking at some of the tapes that I've seen from you, that strong style could probably fit you perfectly. You know what I'm saying? I could see you wrestling a few matches out there and going toe to toe with some of them guys out there. Like it's just me. You know what I mean? My boy, I tell you, man, we be visionaries. We be seeing matches with talent, and we be like, yo, this would be good. Like this would be dope. Like you see him mention Travis 3000 with you, you might not know who Travis 3000 is, but then you go look up Travis 3000. Oh yeah, that match between me and him a cook. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, we just looking at the whole spectrum. You know what I'm saying? Like looking outside the box, your style, your precision, the way you work, that probably would fit you over in New Japan. Like, and Japan they don't just got New Japan, there's multiple organizations in Japan that work dope. You know what I'm saying? Like we just spoke to Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones is Odyssey, he's at All Japan Pro Wrestling right now. And he's cooking out there. They the champions out there. Havoc, they the champions. So, never know, man.
You never know. And hearing stuff like that from other people, like it's just like even with your coach, sometimes you don't want to play a certain position, but he sees it differently. He puts you out there and you're successful. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I'm never going to judge the route. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, even up to this point, I've done stuff in wrestling I wasn't sure about and came back and was like, man, I'm better off because of it. So you never know. I would do, like I said, I rise to any challenge. I do whatever. Right now, I'm looking at it like, man, I never thought about it, but then I could get brought to something and it'd be bigger than I could have ever imagined. You know what I'm saying? So even when you ask me like one piece of advice I would give, never say what you won't do. You know what I'm saying? Because that might be the best thing for you out here wrestling. Never say what you won't do.
Yeah, I believe it. Go ahead, bro.
What is some piece of advice that you've gotten from Darius Lockhart since you've been over in Ashe?
I mean, he's always like, just stay positive, because when I really ever started running into him was just when I had my injury and all that stuff. And he's just always been, dude, Darius Lockhart is just a positive dude. He's you want to talk about somebody that's just like a light? That's a light, bro. Like, and he's just always saying, stay positive, man. Good things will happen. And then you just look at what he done started at daggone Ashe, like putting people on, giving people chances. Like, people say in wrestling, if you just do the right things, good things will come. That ain't always true. That's always true with him. That's always true with him. You know what I'm saying? So hearing being positive and just do what you're supposed to do coming from him hits different because he actually lives that.
What are some who are some people in Ashe as you're working your way up the ranks of Ashe? Name those guys that you think going one-on-one with will help you get to that end goal of holding the Ashe Men's Championship.
Man, well, going from the pre-show, anybody, honestly. Like, a lot of the heavy hitters there, like, Yaya, he's freaking dope. Kozone, obviously. Suge D, Khan, Like those are the top dogs out there, and I'm hoping one day I'll be able to stand toe to toe with them.
I noticed you didn't mention one name in particular,
Who you about to say?
Darius Carter.
I mean, I figure that goes without saying. He's the top. He's the. I ain't gonna say. Hold on. I'm the top dog anyway. I'm the top.
Top of the food chain, remember?
But he is the man to beat out there. He is definitely the man to beat out there. I figured that goes without saying because he's at the top of the mountain over there. But yeah, Darius Carter.
I mean, we've had a few guys on here shoot they shot at Darius Carter. If you could say one thing right now to Darius Carter, what would that be?
I'm ready to run it anytime, anywhere, any place. That's what I would say. He may be the top dog out there because he has the belt. I'm the top of the food chain everywhere I go. That's the way I live. That's my mentality. That's my mindset. I don't need a belt to tell me that anyway. That's just who I am. You feel me?
I like that phrase, top of the food chain, especially in the wrestling, right? Anything that's combat sports, whether it's boxing or MMA and pro wrestling or whatever the case may be, that phrase should be within everybody's mindset. How did you come up with that phrase? No, I'm the top of the food chain.
Because, like I said, like when I told the boxing story, even with football, everywhere I go, people, I would turn heads. You know what I'm saying? People stop me all the time. Man, what do? You used to play football, huh? What do you do now? How much you lifted? Just randomly, all the time. So I started thinking, that's literally what it's. You look at the apex predators in the wild, and they walk around, right? Every animal, when they come around, everybody perks up when the lions come around. Lion might just be trying to walk by and find a shady spot. You know what I'm saying? Could be a rhino sitting right there. Like I said before, could a rhino gore a lion to death? Possibly, yeah, it could. Does it want to? Does it want to be in that position? No, because he knows he's still going to be in the fight of his life. You know what I'm saying? So I said I'm the top of the food chain because that's always been me. You know what I'm saying? My presence is respected everywhere I go. It's noticed everywhere I go. Every room I step in. Blade's here. They know. You feel me? And I don't say I'm at the top of the food chain because that insinuates I have to get knocked off. No, I am the top of the food chain. That means I'm the standard.
Straight from the man's mouth. Y'all hear that, front man? Front man shot his shot. You hear that, front man? Front man said he the top of the food chain. Nah, Blade Brown is the food chain. He's at the top.
Let's set it up and let's run it then.
He said he ready for that smoke. That's what he said. He ain't stutter neither.
He said set it up and run it. Let's go, front man.
Yeah.
Swerve says whose house? Swerve's house? No, Blade is saying whose house? Blade's house.
Oh man. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna wind down. This is most likely gonna be my last question. So storylines. Are you involved in any storylines right now within your promotion? And if so, what is going on? Could you give us a little tidbit of what's going on?
Yeah. So right now at DCW, like I said, I may have been on the shelf, but I ain't been gone. I've been making myself known, picking at the DCW heavyweight champ, Bojack. Everybody knows Bojack around here.
Yeah, no
You know what
Bojack.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody knows Bojack. Picking at him, and recently I just came through and I just speared Xavion Bright to let everybody know in DCW that I'm cleared and I'm back and I'm here to wreck shop. So my whole thing with Xavion, I'm just angry. Angry at the fact that I've been gone for 6 months and this dude thinks he's been giving it up ever since he's in DCW, and I had to cut him down a little bit. I had to cut him down. Now all of a sudden, Tim, who kind of mentors Xavion out here in DCW, he's trying to figure out why I reared my head again. You know what I'm saying? And he's the DCW Prestige champion. So now I'm setting myself up to be the first double champ in DCW history. I'm gonna take that daggone Prestige title off of Tim. I'm gonna take that daggone heavyweight title off of Bojack, and I'm gonna prove once again why I am and always have been the top of the food chain.
Mm.
After 6 months, it's that easy.
Okay. So this is another one of my last questions. Do you prefer being a hero or a villain, a heel or a face?
A heel. A heel.
Any reason why?
I can do what I want. I can do what the freak I want. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And I like to be in control. I'm in control. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with the kids. The kids are cool. It's nice being around them. It's nice being cheered and all of that stuff. But I'm not validated by anybody.
All right. Final question. If somebody disrespects Blade Brown in the ring, how does Blade Brown handle it?
It usually ends with me running through their rib cage.
Mm.
So that's
Straight to the point.
That's why people don't make it a habit of disrespecting me, because they want to be able to breathe the next morning.
You hear that? They said don't try it. He said don't try it. Don't try it. Yeah. What was your what would you say was your greatest promo as far as your character?
Probably my most recent one that I shot on Manny,
Okay.
because it was about Manny, but it was more so about my frustration at the fact that my last 6 months were taken away because of this daggone injury.
Okay.
And I just felt like I let a lot of me come out. So it was honestly, it was a promo, but it was a lot of release too.
Okay.
Feel me?
Tagging you in, bro.
You got it. Couple quick hitters right here. Go-to hype song before a match.
For real, I'm gonna be honest with you. Gospel, but I don't have a go-to hype song for real. But anything gospel.
Okay. Amen.
Anything gospel.
Favorite gospel artist.
Favorite gospel artist? I'm old school, man. John P. Key.
I knew it.
But the spirituals. Well, I'm old school, man. I'm an old man. Yo. That's where I'm at. With the Clark sisters.
Clark sisters. Yeah, that was my grandma stuff right there.
Old school, man.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Not to cut you off, I forgot to mention that. Yo, you do have an old soul as far as how you carry yourself and your demeanor, and I think that's cool. That's cool. You know what I mean? That means you've matured. You matured before your time, basically. You know what I'm saying? You know how people are mature, but they don't mature. You could kind of see it in your aura, like I said before, you don't need a GPS to know where you're going. You already know where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you had people tell you that?
Yeah, I've heard people say that before. Me and Duke O'Connor told me I was he told me I was really like an old man, like a grandfather. I was like, wait, what? Say all that, but whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you were grandfather. I would just feel like you're very mature. You know what I'm saying for your age bracket. You know what I'm saying because most people being in the situation that you're in, you're on the road. People see you all the time. You don't really mature until you get later on in your years. You've heard the stories. I'm pretty sure from your peers that have made a bunch of mistakes before they actually got to the point where they say, "Oh yeah, I gotta chill out, or I'm gonna ruin my career." I really don't see too much of that happening with you. Like I just see your foresightedness moving forward.
I ain't got time for all that.
All right. What is your guilty pleasure outside of professional wrestling?
My guilty pleasure outside of professional wrestling, roller skating.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like roller skating.
Use the
Fun.
blades or just
I can
the
use
two?
both. It's crazy because I was opposite. I mean, I prefer quads personally, because I just like to chill. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to relax, just be on some quads and going. You know what I'm saying? But I actually learned how to skate. I taught myself how to skate on blades, which is crazy to me now that I think about it. But I taught myself how to skate on blades.
That is crazy. You normally learn on quads.
You know, student, right? But I asked for roller. What happened was when I was a kid, I asked for skates and I was given blades. And my sister, my little sister was playing this game. It was a Bratz video game. And you know how you have a sprint button in most video games where their sprint button was skates, not sprinting. And I saw the way they were doing their feet. So we used to live in an apartment. So I would go down, put my joints on, get down them steps, and I would skate around in a circle the same way that they moved on the daggone video game. And then I was like, oh wow, I can stay up. And then after that, I just started rolling. So
I, I
yeah.
wouldn't have took you as a skater. That's crazy. That's good stuff though. That's
I like
good cardio
punching it too.
also.
Do a lot of things. I do a lot of things people wouldn't expect.
Top of the food chain. Favorite city or crowd you performed in?
Man, I really freaking love the boxcar crowds at Greensboro. I tell you what, too. Yorktown, Virginia. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what my favorite crowd was. I was in Arkansas back in 2023, and that specific crowd, there was a group home for like foster kids, and they all got in for free, and that was back when I was still doing the barking and all that stuff, and they freaking loved it. They loved it, and I had a little football. I was incorporating my football and stuff into it, so they loved all that. I even came out with a football, threw it to them, gave it to them, and everything, like just doing random stuff. But they were on their feet, going crazy the whole time, and I just think it was like, that was my favorite crowd, simply just because it was just like this, who we doing it for, like. I don't know what them kids have gone through. A bunch of foster kids, but they got in for free, and they loved me. They got their money. You know what I'm saying? And also to say it too, it was a bunch of black kids. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that night they got to look up to me as like a superhero. You know what I'm saying?
But I bet that was like probably the best feeling of your career. I would assume.
It was one of. I love that night. That was a great night. And the match wasn't nothing crazy at all. It didn't have to be, but it wasn't nothing crazy at all. But they loved
What's one word that fans should think of when they hear Blade Brown?
it. Intense.
I can definitely see that. Most definitely. If you could tag with anyone in history, who would it be?
In history, Ooh. History. Honestly, man, it would probably, as basic as it sounds, bro. Probably actually Shawn Michaels. I was gonna say Cena, but Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. My
HB
only
Shizzle.
my only condition for doing that, I have to be able to come out with him to that theme song.
You want to do the flexing with him too?
I gotta do it. I gotta do all of that. Everybody who knows me from a young age knows when that theme song come on, like I just lose my freaking mind. Like that's my favorite theme song. You know what I'm saying? People always say you want to emulate who who you love and all that stuff. I used to love Shawn Michaels. I couldn't, but you look at me, man. I can't emulate that and pull it off. That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? But if I had long hair, if I had like a slimmer physique, and I was like, that'd probably be something I would do for real, man. That sexy voice stuff, I freaking loved it. That was, but I'd have to be Shawn Michaels, but I gotta come out to his thing.
Couple more. What keeps you motivated on tough days?
God. Like honestly, it's just God. I stay in His Word. I read my Bible every single day, and that just keeps me grounded. Tough days don't last forever, and everybody goes through them. You know what I'm saying? And things can flip. So
Just like that.
yeah,
All right. So, name your Mount Rushmore of linebackers. Since you played linebackers, give me your Mount Rushmore of linebackers, and then after that, give me your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
I could do inside and outside backers.
You can put them together if you want to.
Okay, I'll give you my. Gotta go with Ray Lewis,
Absolutely.
Luke Kuechly.
Mm.
Luke Kuechly. This is depending on who you ask. I consider him an outside linebacker, even though he was mostly a pass rusher. But Derek Thomas, how
Yeah,
you
most
want
people
you want
consider.
to view him?
I view him. So it just depends on the scheme they were running. If they were running a 3-4, he's an outside linebacker. If they're running a 4-3, he's a D end. So it could be either or.
Yeah, I'll leave him off just because of that, just because of the discrepancy right there. So Ray Lewis, Luke Kuechly, LT, like,
Yeah,
come
he was
on,
an
man.
outside linebacker.
Like, come on, man. LT was just that freaking dude. And there's like 5 I feel like I could put here. You know what I'm saying? Between Singletary, freaking Urlacher, freaking I like Sam Mills just because I feel like for his height, that boy was a dog. You know what I'm saying?
He was a monster, and he was only like 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But he
And
was
he
like
just
untouchable.
yeah. Like there's just so many guys I could go here. Even like as recent as like Fred Warner, just because I think the way the game has evolved,
Mm-hmm.
he's ever evolved. Like he's your real live new age linebacker. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
this generation is gonna forever talk about. You know what I'm saying? So if I had to go with my fourth, screw it. I'm gonna just go ahead and give it to. I don't know, man. Dante Hightower, bro. Like it's so freaking big of
There's so many. I was just thinking of Patrick Willis.
Patrick Willis. I feel like he retired too early.
He did. He did.
Kuechly kind of
So did
retired. At the same
Kuechly.
time.
Yeah.
His impact to me was just greater. He was so freaking smart. Shoot, London Fletcher. Oh my God, this is tough.
There's so many of them.
Brian Cushing. All
That
right,
dude
if
was a
I'm gonna,
maniac.
yeah. All right, if I'm gonna give it, I'll go. Honestly, I'll go Cushing. I'll go Cushing
Brian Cushing. Nothing wrong with
because
that. That dude was a complete maniac.
yeah, like you just like you want to talk about linebacker, like to me he was more intense than Ray Lewis. I don't care what anybody said. Like, but if you want to go linebacker, like you think linebacker, that's who you think. Like
I mean, dude was
that,
headbutting people without a helmet, headbutting them while they were wearing a helmet. Like,
yeah, like that dude was a lunatic. Like he didn't care about anything.
he just didn't.
Yeah. Now Mount Rushmore wrestling, you said?
Yes, sir.
Stone Cold.
Gotta have Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. All right. For me, I'm gonna be honest with you.
This is your
Kurt,
list.
Stone Cold, Kurt Angle. Gotta go Kurt Angle. I gotta go Kurt Angle, Stone Cold. I can't realistically say this list without Cena, just the way he carried the company for so long. I can't. And honestly, longevity, timing, love of the game, all of that, bro. Randy Orton,
RKO.
but
You
like
left
he's
your
literally.
boy out though. You left your boy out. HBK.
I mean, yeah, I love him, but you got to think when I say like my Mount Rushmore, it's for certain reasons. Like
Okay.
Cena carrying the company, like as long as the way he did, you know what I'm saying? Randy being somebody from a generation of people that he could be a part timer. He could be doing anything. He could go home and be with his kids. This man is out here for the love of the game. Watched him my whole life, still balling, perfecting his craft at almost 50. You know what I'm saying? Kurt Angle, I just feel like is just the realest wrestler, obviously, that ever did it. For me, like I love Kurt Angle. Like nobody's ever gonna replace him. You know what I'm saying? And then Stone Cold. I mean, without Stone Cold, do we have WWE right now? Does WCW win? You know, like Stone Cold, man. Like you just do we have like he's the reason why I don't say he's the reason, but he's a big part. He's a big reason why we have what we have. You know what I'm saying? And it's like WCW started having their own issues at some point, right? So what if WCW won, but they continued down with their own issues? Do we even have wrestling on that level right now? You know what I'm saying? Does
I can
TNA get
feel
as
I feel that.
does TNA get as big because they were chasing WWE? You know what I'm saying? But without that thing to chase and you just start your own thing up, then what? You know?
Yeah,
How
because
long
at
do you
that
let
point, then we're relying on Japan and we're relying on the UK and places like that to get our professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? UK be doing their thing. I mean, they got a bunch of dope promotions out there.
Well, bro, you know my last question, so if you got anything else,
No,
go ahead.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm letting you do your thing. You know.
Well, I always end the show with one question. If you could see anybody on the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast, who would it be? But you have to help us get that person on that show, on the show.
I'm gonna go with AC Devon. I feel like he deserves. He's doing a lot that people just don't even know. and I believe he deserves a platform to be able to talk about it.
AC Divine.
Yep,
Divine. Is he on Instagram?
he is.
Okay. I'm gonna look him up real quick.
Cool. ACDIVIN. Is he a wrestler?
He is.
Okay.
AC Devon 22.
23?
22.
22. There he is. He got his email on his Instagram. I will reach out to him. But remember, you have to help us get him too. So whatever you got to do to, to get us in there, let me know, and then I'll also message him and in my email that I send him and the message that I send him on, because I'll do both. I'll send one on Instagram and then I'll send another one on through his Gmail. I'll make sure to let him know that you told us his name and that you deserve a platform to tell his story.
Got you.
Well, that's all I got for you tonight, sir. Like I said, I apologize that I was late. I had some stuff with the kids at the school I had to take care of, but I knew my brother right here would hold it down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was smooth.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your time and your patience for rocking with us tonight. It was very informative. We enjoyed the conversation, and you are welcomed as always to come back on the show, especially when you get that championship belt we've been talking about. When you
Absolutely.
get that, we need to be the first podcast you reach out to, be like, yo, I got the belt. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it won't be long.
Yeah. Hey, we watching, man. We watching. We waiting, man. We want to see it, man, for sure.
Hey, I need one of them top of the food chains that you got.
I got to get some more. Don't even worry about it. I got you.
Yeah, I need a top of the food chain shirt, and I need a top of the food chain chain. I want both of them joints. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. All right, we appreciate your time and your patience, man, and we'll definitely be in touch once again. Like we told you, everything will be uploaded for you to share. As soon as we finish the interview, it's going to upload right away, so you'll be able to watch everything, play back as much as you want, and share it to your followers and everything like that. Is there anything else you want to say, like to your followers, your fans, whoever, you know what I mean, your handles and all that stuff?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, Blade Brown Wrestling, straight like that. Why? Because I'm Blade Brown and I just be wrestling, dog. And that's really it. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all. I'm back on the scene now. I'm fully healed, fully recovered, just got cleared, and I'm ready to beat your favorite.
I know that's right.
You heard it. You heard it. He ain't playing no games. He's saying he gonna beat your favorite. Top of the food chain talking. Y'all better listen. Hey, man,
Yes.
Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, the Insightful One, Scott Brars Wrestling Media, the dynamic Dark Wing Dub. Salute. Special guest, top of the food chain, Blade Brown. We'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Pieces.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.